What's up guys, it's me, Kedar, and in this video I'll be taking a look at Warhammer 40,000. Warhammer 40,000 is a tabletop wargame set in the gritty far future, and in this video I'll be taking a look at its history. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video.
The grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. Those words are the representation of the universe of Warhammer. Set in the 41st millennium, Warhammer 40,000, also known as Warhammer 40k, chronicles the conflict between the Imperium of Man, which is an empire that rules over the majority of the human race, the Xenos, which are a group of numerous different alien species and factions, and the forces of Chaos, which are a group of cultists, demons, and traitors to the Imperium of Man, and are a threat to the galaxy. Players create and control armies of units from factions within the three sides of the war, and battle each other with those armies. Warhammer 40k is a game about strategy, determination, and staying cool in the face of war. Warhammer 40k's origins can be traced back to a science fiction war game by the name of Laserburn, which was created by British game designer Brian Ansell and was published by Tabletop Games of Nottingham in 1980. The rulebook was 40 pages long, and it had several supplementary rulebooks that were also released, which added further rules and expanded the game. Laserburn was meant as a role-playing game as well as a skirmish or small battle war game. Laserburn used 10-sided and percentile dice to resolve combat rolls, and it featured an unorthodox turn system. Instead of players going turn by turn, figurines moved one at a time. So, one player can move some of their units on one turn and have to move others on another turn. Laserburn's sci-fi setting and open-ended roleplay rules made it the perfect base to build Warhammer 40k off of. In 1982, a man by the name of Rick Priestley joined Citadel Miniatures, which was a part of Games Workshop, which produced miniatures to use in Dungeons & Dragons campaigns. The manager of Citadel, who happened to be Brian Ansell, asked Rick to create a fantasy miniatures wargame that would be given for free to encourage customers to buy more figurines. Dungeons & Dragons did not have a miniature requirement to play games, so they were more of a commodity. The result of the game designed by Priestley was Warhammer Fantasy Battle, which was released in 1983 and did well. Warhammer Fantasy was a game with a similar setting to Dungeons & Dragons, but Priestley and his co-workers added some optional science fiction elements such as laser weapons. Warhammer 40k was conceived as the opposite to Warhammer Fantasy, with mostly sci-fi elements with some fantasy sprinkled in. Before the development of Warhammer 40k, Games Workshop was planning on selling conversion kits, where players could change their Warhammer Fantasy models to have futuristic weaponry, but the idea was scrapped in favor of working on a new game entirely. Before working for Games Workshop, Rick Priestley had been working on a spaceship tabletop war game called Rogue Trader, which combined sci-fi action with some fantasy elements. When developing the game that was going to be Warhammer 40k, Priestley had initially planned to name the game Rogue Trader, after his planned spaceship war game. Before release, however, Games Workshop had signed a contract to develop a board game based on the comic book Rogue Trooper, so to not confuse customers, Priestley changed his game's name to Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader. Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader was marketed as a spin-off to Warhammer Fantasy Battle. Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader was an instant success after its launch in October of 1987. Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader is the first of many editions in Warhammer, and its rules are based off of Warhammer Fantasy Battle 2nd Edition. Rick Priestley also created the lore of the game, and Rogue Trader's gameplay was heavily based on role-playing instead of just wargaming. The rules were designed to allow units to fight in small battles. Composition of units in those small battles were determined randomly by rolling dice. Supplements to the main game were included in the White Dwarf magazine, which is a tabletop gaming magazine created by Games Workshop. Warhammer, at the time of this video's release, is in its 9th edition, which was released in October of 2020. Its lore and dystopian setting are well refined, and each army has its own individual playstyle and personality that makes them unique. Warhammer's galaxy-wide war is unlike any science fiction story ever seen. With many aliens and armies competing for galactic domination, it makes you wonder when playing the game, how will you make your mark in the grim darkness of the far future?
And that's Warhammer 40k, one of the most story-rich and popular tabletop gaming franchises there are today. Please leave a like on this video and subscribe for more content, as well as comment any other board games you would like to learn about down below. If you're interested in getting your hands on the brand new Gladiator trading card game, which combines aspects of tabletop war games with trading card games, check out its shop page in the description down below. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video.